Your dog has been speaking to you, just not with words. Those tiny actions you ignore, leaning on you, quietly following you, placing a paw on your chest, even slipping into your seat the moment you stand up, are emotional messages scientists say most owners never understand, but today we're decoding every single one of them. And once you learn the real meaning behind that quiet following, and especially why your dog takes your seat, it will change the way you see your dog forever. So, let's start with the carpet crime scene. Your dog drags their butt across your living room carpet, right in front of your guests, making direct eye contact with everyone. You want to vanish into thin air from pure embarrassment. But here's the truth. Your dog isn't trying to humiliate you. They're screaming for help in the only way they can. Their anal glands are impacted or infected, creating pain so intense it feels like having a rock stuck in their shoe that they absolutely cannot remove. That dragging motion? It's their desperate attempt to relieve unbearable pressure. This isn't bad behavior, it's a medical emergency they can't fix themselves. Instead of being mortified, recognize this as your dog begging for veterinary help. But that embarrassment is nothing compared to what your dog does with your dirtiest laundry. The sock thief's obsession. Your expensive designer shoes sit untouched, but your sweaty, dirty socks? They vanish faster than free pizza at a college party. Your dog treats these funky foot coverings like precious treasure, hiding them, sleeping with them clutched between their paws. This isn't rebellion. It's pure chemical addiction to you. Your feet contain the highest concentration of your unique scent because of sweat glands. When your dog steals socks, their brain releases the same feel-good hormones as when humans fall in love. That gross, smelly sock you're embarrassed about? To your dog, it's like carrying a piece of your soul everywhere they go. They're literally getting high off your scent signature. Think that's strange? Wait until you see your dog turn into a backyard pharmacist. The backyard doctor. Your dog suddenly becomes obsessed with eating grass like it's a gourmet salad. They munch away with determination, then inevitably vomit it all back up. This disgusting cycle repeats regularly. But this isn't random. It's brilliant self-medication perfected over thousands of years. When dogs feel nauseous or detect digestive problems, they instinctively seek specific types of grass that act as natural medicine. The grass triggers controlled vomiting that clears their system of toxins. Your dog is operating their own four-legged pharmacy, using nature's remedies to solve health problems they can't communicate verbally. The vomiting isn't a side effect, it's the intended therapeutic result. But your dog's superpowers go even further. They can literally see into the future. The invisible threat detector. Your dog suddenly erupts into aggressive barking at absolutely nothing. You scan the area confused. No person, no animal, no visible threat. Yet your furry friend behaves like they're preparing for war. This isn't random insanity, it's supernatural early warning detection. Dogs can detect approaching threats through micro-sounds, scent changes, and vibrations 10 to 15 minutes before humans notice anything. They might be hearing footsteps 3 blocks away or detecting a stranger's approach through air currents. Your dog is basically a living crystal ball, predicting future events and warning you about situations that haven't happened yet. That pointless barking is actually life-saving intelligence gathering. And speaking of awkward moments, this next one happens during their most vulnerable time. The awkward stare down. Your dog makes intense, unwavering eye contact with you during their most private bathroom business. This uncomfortable moment creates the world's most awkward staring contest. But this isn't your dog being weird. It's the ultimate compliment and demonstration of absolute trust. In the wild, Dogs are most vulnerable when defecating because they can't run, fight, or defend themselves. By maintaining direct eye contact with you, they're declaring, "I trust you completely with my life to watch for danger." You've been chosen as their ultimate bodyguard and most trusted pack member. This proves they consider you their most reliable protector. But nothing compares to when your dog suddenly transforms into a living statue. The freeze frame glitch. You're in the middle of a walk when suddenly your dog just stops, completely frozen, one paw lifted in the air like they've been paused by an invisible remote control. You tug the leash gently. Nothing. You call their name. They don't even blink. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog isn't being stubborn or broken. They've entered what scientists call scent lock mode. Their nose has detected something so fascinating, so information-rich in the air, that their entire brain has redirected all processing power to analyze it. It could be another dog's urine from 3 days ago, a rabbit that passed by hours earlier, or pheromones from a female dog 2 blocks away. During this frozen state, your dog is reading an invisible newspaper written in scent. They're gathering intelligence about their territory that's completely invisible to your limited human senses. That freeze isn't defiance. It's your dog accessing their supercomputer nose to download critical environmental data. Wait until you see what happens when that tail becomes their worst enemy. The tail chase tornado. Your dog suddenly starts chasing their own tail in frantic circles, round and round and round, spinning so fast they look like a furry tornado. They snap at it, bark at it, and seem genuinely confused why they can't catch this mysterious moving target. You're watching thinking your dog has completely lost their mind. Here's the truth. This isn't stupidity, it's excess energy discharge combined with a prey drive malfunction. Their peripheral vision catches their tail moving, triggering their chase instinct before their brain processes it's their own body part. The spinning motion releases endorphins, making it addictive like humans stress eating. Your dog isn't dumb, they're desperately trying to burn off energy. But the real drama unfolds the moment you reach for your car keys. The dramatic goodbye performance. You grab your keys. Your dog's ears perk up. You put on your shoes. They start following you. You reach for the door and suddenly your dog transforms into a tragic actor. They whimper, pace, and give you the most heartbreaking puppy eyes that make you feel like the worst person alive. Some dogs physically block the door, grab your clothes, or let out Oscar-worthy howls that make neighbors think you're torturing them. Here's the truth. Your dog isn't being manipulative. They're experiencing genuine separation anxiety rooted in pack survival instincts. In the wild, being separated from the pack meant danger or death. Your dog doesn't understand you're coming back. Every goodbye feels permanent to them. And when you're gone, they immediately report to their surveillance station, the window watch mission. Your dog spends hours stationed at the window like a dedicated security guard. They watch every car pass, every person walk by, every leaf that blows across the yard. Sometimes they bark at absolutely nothing. Sometimes they just stare with laser focus at the same spot for 20 minutes straight. This behavior seems pointless and obsessive, making you wonder if your dog is developing some psychological disorder. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog isn't bored or crazy. They're performing territorial surveillance that's hardwired into their DNA. That window is their command center for monitoring their domain. Every movement outside represents potential threats, interesting news, or changes in their environment that need assessment. They're not wasting time. They're working their full-time job as your home's chief security officer. But the strangest ritual happens when nature calls, and it involves Earth's magnetic field. The circle dance before pooping. Your dog needs to poop. But instead of just squatting and handling business efficiently, they start spinning in circles like they're performing an ancient ritual. 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles. Sometimes they walk to a completely different spot and start the entire spinning ceremony over again. This process can take several minutes while you're standing there with the poop bag wondering what's taking so long. Here's the fascinating truth. Your dog isn't being difficult or picky. Scientists discovered that dogs actually align themselves with Earth's magnetic field when defecating. They prefer to position their body on a north-south axis during this vulnerable moment. Those circles are your dog's internal compass, calibrating to invisible magnetic forces. They're literally using supernatural navigation abilities you can't even perceive. Speaking of embarrassing moments, this one will make you want to disappear. The crotch investigation. Your guest walks through the door. Before you can even say hello, your dog's nose is buried directly in their most private area, conducting a thorough investigation while you die from embarrassment. No amount of training, scolding, or apologies stops this mortifying behavior. You yank your dog away, but they're determined to complete their inappropriate inspection mission. Here's what nobody tells you. Your dog isn't being perverted or rude. They're actually gathering sophisticated social intelligence that humans can't access. A person's crotch area contains the highest concentration of scent glands and pheromones. One strategic sniff reveals their emotional state, health status, diet, stress levels, and even personality traits. To your dog, this investigation equals humans exchanging business cards and having lengthy introductions. But watch what happens when you serve them their favorite meal. The food bowl paranoia. You fill your dog's bowl with fresh food, but instead of immediately eating, they pick up a mouthful, carry it to a completely different location, drop it on the floor, and only then start eating. Sometimes they move the entire bowl across the room before feeling safe enough to consume their meal. This bizarre security routine drives owners crazy, especially when you've just bought expensive premium food that should be irresistible. Here's the truth. Your dog isn't being ungrateful or weird. They're following ancient survival protocols that kept their wolf ancestors alive for thousands of years. Wild dogs had to carry food away from pack competition and eat in secure locations to avoid being attacked while vulnerable. Your pampered pet still performs this survival assessment, checking for adequate escape routes before consuming anything valuable. And the moment you stand up, they pull off the ultimate heist. The seat-stealing heist. You get up for 2 seconds to grab water, you return, and your dog has claimed your seat, looking completely comfortable and refusing to move. They know it's your spot, but somehow always beat you back to it with ninja-like speed. This seat stealing happens constantly, making you wonder if your dog is deliberately messing with you. Here's the powerful truth. Your dog isn't being a jerk. They're actually experiencing 3 things simultaneously. First, your seat contains your concentrated scent signature, which acts like an anti-anxiety drug for them. Second, you've left behind body heat that matches their ideal comfort temperature. Third, and most beautiful, they're maintaining connection to you through the space you just occupied. That warm seat represents safety, love, and your presence, even when you're temporarily gone. But their ninja skills don't stop there. Watch how they become invisible. The stealth mode activated. You're sitting on the couch. You blink. Suddenly your dog is right next to you. You never heard them approach. No footsteps, no sounds. They just materialized like a furry ghost. This happens constantly throughout the day. Your dog somehow moves through your house with the stealth capabilities of a trained assassin, appearing and disappearing without making a single sound. Here's what's happening. Your dog isn't trying to be sneaky or scare you. They've actually mastered the art of silent movement through thousands of years of hunting evolution. Their padded paws, flexible joints, and instinctive understanding of weight distribution allow them to move without creating noise. They're naturally walking the same way human ninjas train for years to achieve. This stealth mode stays activated because predator instincts never completely turn off, and they use that intelligence to expose your lies during playtime. The fake throw detector. You pretend to throw the ball, your dog doesn't move an inch. They just stare at you with an expression that clearly says, "Really, dude?" They've somehow figured out you're faking, even though you went through all the throwing motions perfectly. You're shocked because you definitely fooled them 100 times before. When did they become so smart? Here's what happened. Your dog isn't psychic. They've been carefully studying your body language, arm movements, hand positions, and release timing for weeks or months. They've identified the microscopic differences between your real throw and fake throw mechanics, the angle of your shoulder, the sound of the ball leaving your hand, the follow-through distance. They decoded your entire throwing pattern and now can't be fooled. Your dog just demonstrated problem-solving intelligence that rivals professional athletes analyzing opponents, and when you finally go to sleep, their real job begins. The midnight patrol, it's 2 a.m. You hear your dog walking through the house, pacing from room to room, checking doors, investigating sounds. They're conducting a full security sweep of the entire property while you're trying to sleep. Sometimes they stop and stare at nothing for several minutes before continuing their patrol. This behavior repeats multiple times throughout the night, disrupting your sleep and making you wonder why they can't just stay in bed like normal creatures. Here's the truth. Your dog isn't being restless or anxious. They're fulfilling their genetic responsibility as your pack's nighttime guardian. Wild dogs and wolves take turns maintaining vigilance while others sleep. Your dog is simply performing the night watch shift, ensuring no threats approach while the pack is vulnerable. That midnight pacing is actually dedicated protection service you never asked for, but definitely receive. Speaking of sleep, watch what happens when you buy them luxury. The bed rejection ritual. You bought your dog an expensive orthopedic memory foam bed, $90, top-rated, perfect size. They sniff it once and walk away. Instead, they choose the hardwood floor, a pile of dirty laundry, or the most uncomfortable corner of the room. Their fancy bed sits unused while they sleep on surfaces that look absolutely miserable. You're frustrated because you spent good money trying to give them comfort. Here's what nobody tells you. Your dog isn't being ungrateful or stupid. They're actually regulating their body temperature with precision you can't match. Dogs overheat easily, and that plush bed traps too much heat. The cool floor or hard surfaces help them maintain optimal temperature throughout the night. Different spots offer different thermal properties. They're not rejecting your gift. They're choosing comfort over luxury based on their actual biological needs. But nothing prepares you for this sudden explosion of pure chaos. The random sprinting explosion. Your dog is lying peacefully. Everything is calm. Suddenly, without warning, they explode off the ground and sprint at full speed through the house. They race around furniture, slide across floors, bounce off walls like a furry pinball, then stop just as suddenly and act completely normal. No trigger, no reason, just pure chaotic energy from nowhere. You're left confused and slightly concerned about their mental state. Here's what just happened. Your dog isn't having a breakdown. They're experiencing what experts call frenetic random activity periods, or FRAPs. These energy bursts are completely normal and serve important purposes. The explosive movement helps release pent-up physical energy, stimulates their nervous system, and actually promotes better rest afterward. It's like humans getting sudden urges to dance or jump around. Your dog just needed to reboot their system with maximum chaos. But their most devoted protection service happens in your most private space. The bathroom bodyguard. You go to the bathroom. Before you can close the door, your dog pushes through and plants themselves right in front of you. They sit there, watching you during your most private moments, refusing to leave despite your commands. Some dogs even paw at the door if you manage to lock them out. This invasion of privacy happens every single time, making you wonder if your dog has boundary issues. Here's the truth. Your dog isn't being weird or clingy. They're actually protecting you during your most vulnerable moment. In pack dynamics, members are most at risk when separated and distracted. Your dog's instinct screams that bathroom time equals vulnerability, and they've appointed themselves as your personal security detail. That awkward staring is actually devoted protection service. They're standing guard to ensure no threats approach while you're unable to defend yourself effectively. And watch their brain completely malfunction the moment you grab this one. Object: the leash, losing their mind. You grab the leash. Instantly, your dog transforms into an absolute maniac. They spin in circles, jump repeatedly, bark uncontrollably, and basically lose all training they've ever received. This chaos happens despite going on walks twice daily for years. You'd think they'd get used to it, but every single time is like announcing they've won the lottery. The excitement level seems completely disproportionate to a simple walk around the block. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog isn't just excited about walking. They're experiencing anticipatory dopamine release that floods their brain with pleasure chemicals before the actual event. Studies show dogs get more excited about the anticipation of rewards than the rewards themselves. That leash represents adventure, smells, exploration, and time with you. Your dog is basically getting high off excitement hormones before anything even happens. But this next eating habit will drive you absolutely insane. The one kibble investigation. Your dog eats their entire meal quickly, except for one single piece of kibble. They leave it in the bowl, walk away, then return hours later to finally eat that last piece. Sometimes they carry that one piece around the house before eventually consuming it. You're baffled why they couldn't just finish their meal in one session like every other creature on Earth. Here's the fascinating reason. Your dog isn't being wasteful or picky. They're actually practicing portion control and resource management inherited from wild ancestors. Leaving one piece of food creates a food security checkpoint that reassures them resources are available. It's psychological insurance against scarcity anxiety. That single kibble represents abundance and safety. They know food exists, and they control when to consume it. This behavior demonstrates sophisticated planning and emotional regulation around resources. And finally, witness the most emotional meltdown that happens every single day. The greeting ceremony insanity. You've been gone for 5 minutes to check the mail. You return, and your dog acts like you've been gone for 5 years. They jump, spin, whine, bring you toys, and basically have a complete emotional meltdown of joy. The intensity level stays exactly the same, whether you left for 2 minutes or 2 hours. This over-the-top reaction seems excessive and exhausting for something as routine as your daily return home. Here's the beautiful truth. Your dog isn't being dramatic. They have absolutely no concept of time duration the way humans do. 5 minutes equals 5 hours equals 5 days in their perception. Every single departure creates genuine uncertainty about your return. When you walk back through that door, It's a miracle reunion every time. That insane greeting isn't overreaction. It's pure, unfiltered joy that you kept your promise and came back to them. Which behavior shocked you the most? Drop a comment below. And if your dog does something even weirder, I need to know about it. Subscribe so you never miss these mind-blowing dog secrets.